Well, good afternoon, viewers, and welcome the self-motivated Barry Peatling.
Welcome my viewers out there on a lovely sort of 2013 summer's day. Very nice.
The
Not so bad as it was 2 days ago at 40 degrees.
Yeah, first Monday of the year.
Yeah, it is too.
Yeah. So what do we got? What do you got for us today, Barry?
Well, the main part of the video is talking about me growing up, the teenage years in Richmond. I'll get all my young teenage football photos and cricket photos and show the viewers out there and remind them that I wasn't too bad even when I was a young fella.
So first up is this one here, 1951 Premier's St Ignatius football team. Young Barry Peatling. Point us out.
The youngest fella, the youngest boy. I'm always youngest in these football. Here I am there. Look like I'm about 9-year-old, don't I?
Yeah.
Might be.
Well, they all look. He looks young.
No, I'm the youngest in the whole.
Looks pretty young.
In the whole grade.
You got something about you, and did you win that year?
Yep.
Brilliant.
I think I might have got. Here's the result.
Okay, well I'll tell you the results. It's best and fairest was
Desi Cox, yeah.
Desi Cox, and then you came what, fourth or second?
I don't know what to say there.
It says B4. No, Barry Peatling second best.
Second best and fairest, yeah.
And you got leading goal kicker.
I was leading goal kicker 4 years in a row.
Right, so
that's the early one.
What we have now is 1952.
Yeah.
And premiers and champions. What's the difference?
We're unbeaten.
Unbeaten. Premiers and champions. Yeah. I think that might have finished the top of the ladder.
And
that's what that might mean.
I was promoted to vice captain there with Kevin Cole. He was the captain.
Any other famous people we might know there? What about Chubbsy McChubb?
He just filled in Peter Craft. He won Tats in 1963.
Oh, wow.
£10,000 then.
Right.
Fat Peter Craft. He was just about.
Set himself up.
There's two fellas, the two Ricky brothers, twins. And when they first came to school, I couldn't recognise them between them, but they both played for Richmond.
Barry Burke? Where's Barry Burke?
Barry Burke there. That's Nathan Burke's father, who was captain secured and played about 1,000 games. And Kevin Callender, that's Charlie Callender, property steward of Richmond for 50 years. That was his son. He played one game too. Okay. But I didn't play in the seniors. I played in the seconds. Got the flick.
So, leading goal kicker and best and fairest for the year.
I won 3 best and fairest in a row, I think, and the goal kicking 3. I mean, I was only the youngest in the team. I cannot believe it. Anyway.
All right, so that's that.
That's
now,
that.
1953. So this is another year. Boys are looking bigger, except you.
No, still haven't changed.
Everyone, see this fella here. Like, he's bigger than
Jeff Dooley. He was a very good ruckman. He was. He'd be about 6 foot. Well, he's 13. He's 12 or 13. He's 6 foot 1. He's taller than Brother Matthews.
So Barry Burke came third in the best and fairest.
I won the best and fairest that year.
And Des Cox came first, and you came second. So
I came second. Slack.
But goal kicking, I
won the goal kicking.
Won the goal kicking. You seem to be a goal kicker. You like that? You know where the goals are.
As a matter of fact, I think I'm pretty sure I hold the record for the most goals. I kicked 3. We played against the combined Protestant side.
Yeah.
Down Swan Street on the football ground down there, and kicked 8 goals. I kicked 8 goals against DLR and 8 goals against St Bede's.
Wow, that sounds
How about that?
So that led us the year after to the Scouts. Richmond Scouts got promoted.
Yeah, that's when we promoted. Got put my left. I was still going to school then.
54, still going to school.
Yeah.
There look some big boys there. So.
The Barry Burke.
What about 16-year-old sort of thing, or that sort of thing? No.
Under 15, I think it was. Under 16.
Okay.
He played for Collingwood. Billy Thripp. Ronnie Reeves, the captain, played for Collingwood.
Billy Thripp, he was a goal kicker. He was better and Frankie Matheson were in front of you goal kicking wise.
Where did I finish the goal?
Finished third that year.
Yeah, I was only about,
bit unusual.
Only about 12 then.
And you came second in the best and fairest.
Second?
Yeah, Ron Reeves.
Ronnie, he played for Victoria and Collingwood.
Okay, so he was a fair player.
Champion.
So that was a good year. Then we got to Richmond Football Club, the 4th 18. What's the difference between that and Scouts?
Next year.
Next year, okay. So
I'll tell you what, before you go any further, I reckon there's about half a dozen fellas in that Richmond Scout side in this Richmond Horse side.
Okay. So that year, just point yourself out.
Down the front here in front of Berkey.
Okay, so Barry Burke.
He was captain.
Captain. He was really coming the third in the best and fairest.
So, Peatling?
No, not you. You didn't feature. Roger Dean and Ivan McKay.
Oh, Roger Dean played.
Now.
Not too much about Tomic.
Now we want to talk about Tomic.
No,
but not too much. But let's talk about Tomic. What do you think about Tomic's performance the last
couple of weeks?
Well,
I told you last year, Colin,
yes.
I was a little bit out in my prediction, but I told you last year he's going to make top 10, but he just went off the rails. And some fellas, they did, like Agassi when he was 18, he went off the rails and he went top over, but he's that number 1 player in the world. But Tommy, the last 3 weeks, he's been 2 of the top 10 players, and I watched him against Djokovic. He just took him apart. And Djokovic doesn't like losing anywhere in the backyard, so he wasn't mucking around.
Well, this is where I have to differ with you, because I cannot stand Tomic.
The 3 champions.
Cannot stand him.
Well,
he's
a bit of a
show
smart
pony. He's a bit up himself. All those sorts of things. I don't think he's going to do any good. He's too.
Colin, give him another 6 months, you might change your version. Okay.
Well, not going to stop me from liking him.
Well, that's right.
He says all these things about how good he is and how he's a good.
He might like you, Colin.
He probably doesn't even know he exists.
Well,
he's the one on the pedestal.
But anyway, just mark my word. He will. I said he made the top 10 last year, but way out there. But I think he's on his way back. He's beaten 3 of the top 10 players the last 3 games he played. What more can he do? And mentioned something about the little young girl.
Ashley Barty.
She is only 16. She's very tall for her size, and she cleaned up the Schiavone in that Hopton Cup 2 nights ago. And Schiavone won the French Open 2 years ago, and she 6-1.
So you look out for her.
Oh, she's going to be a player. I mean, she played the doubles with Djokovic with Tomic, and she's a 16-year-old.
Amazing.
Will be a superstar.
Now I want to talk. You haven't got it on our list here, but to talk about the cricket. Sri Lankans bowled out. It was in the end it was quite easy, but they gave Australia a little bit of a scare.
Well,
if there was another 50 runs, it might have been a bit more, because they got 5 out.
Yeah, look, there wasn't no competition.
The pitch was starting to do funny things.
There was about 3 or 4, 3 and a dog went and watched those games. They won't give back any.
Did you notice that the squad's just been released for the one-dayers? And
they brought that up.
There's about 3 players that are playing in the test team that are playing in the one-dayers. Like
I just said before we come on air, when they've given Hussey and David Warner a rest. Can you imagine giving Gilchrist and Matty Hayden a rest years ago? I mean, they are the biggest draw cards in the world of one-day cricket.
I don't think they rate one day anymore.
John Everett, I keep telling you about him. He's too old. Chairman of the chairman of the boss or something of the cricket side.
Here we go, your ageist views, Barry.
David Warner, when I seen that, I said, I won't be watching it myself. Because he's the best entertainer.
What's going on?
I mean, he made a duck, golden ball duck.
Yes, that can happen.
No, I'm not nothing to do. I'm just saying that he just made a duck. He's human, but he's a one-day specialist, one of the best one-day cricketers in the world.
His average is less than 30.
But he's the most entertaining. When he's out there, he just bashes them.
Certainly 2020.
And so does Mike Hussey. I don't know why they got weird ideas, those people in charge.
It's like New Zealand getting rid of McCullum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to give him a rest.
Yeah. Crazy.
Have a day off.
Yeah, don't like
no pay at all. But anyway, forget about that.
Forget about that. That's enough of that.
History about that, yeah.
All right. So what we're going to talk about is now is something a bit more special. Well, let's talk about that. You growing up in Richmond in your teenage years. Here's you.
Yeah.
How old are you here?
12. It's at the back of St. Ignatius School, and I'll just tell you a minute ago before we come on, my auntie, darling Auntie Murray, she died about 20 years ago, but she bought me my first suit, and I thought I was king of the world because every year, Colin, from when I was about 9 to about 13, I went to march in St. Patrick's Day March, and the year before that, I didn't have a proper suit, and my darling mum, she pressed all my things and get up there, and I'd done all the practicing, so I didn't have the suit and the pants matching, and I get up to school ready to go to march, and Brother Matthews killed it. He said, you can't march, people. I said, what do you mean?
You don't have a suit.
He said, you haven't got... Oh, I was devastated. I didn't bawl, but I was pretty close. I went home and told Mum she was going to get me.
Looks like you're ready to bowl.
But but I did. But the year before that, I was wearing shorts. See?
Wow. Okay. So you classed it up a little bit.
Well, that was my first suit, and I was king of the world.
You used to go to a snooker room when you were in your teens.
Yeah.
How'd you go with? And was it any good? Who'd you go with?
Well, I lived in Mary Street, which runs up to Bridge Road, and it was about 5 minutes walk from my house where the snooker room was. A mate of mine, Phil Harrison, PH, we used to call him, we used to get up there at, I was probably about 13 or 14, and he'd come down. I'm not sure whether Phil was living in Richmond at all. I know he lived in Glenway. I got a funny feeling PH lived around Richmond early doors.
He might have to correct you.
Well, I'll be talking in the next couple of days, and we used to meet up there about 6 o'clock, have their own cues and start playing, and then we go to the pitches about 7.
So this is the billiard, and then you went on to
Snooker
the movies. Snooker room.
Then we go to the movies and check out the girls. And
Did you go to the movies much?
every Friday night, because that's where you meet the girls. You never pay for their fare to go in, Colin.
Mm.
Meet them in the 5th or 6th front row.
Okay.
You couldn't afford to pay them to shout them in.
So
Too dear.
so you just sort of just say pay for yourself.
Yeah, we'll meet you in there.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a sneaky. Do you still do that?
No, they come here. But they used to. But I remember my first official girlfriend was Shirley Taylor. Would you believe this is a true story, Colin? She's the same age as me and the same birthday. Shirley Taylor.
Yeah.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. So born on the same day.
Same day and the same age. And I wasn't with her for very long, but then I met. I think Phil had some female too, and so she come from Somerset Street. But I was going with another girl which I used to meet in the cinema.
Yeah.
She was called Patricia O'Neill.
Mm.
And then the last one I got before I went up mature a bit more was Shirley Holton, who was one of the best looking girls in Richmond.
Huh.
Phil Harrison, know her. PH, know her. You remember her, Phil?
What's her name?
Shirley Holton. Lucy
Shirley.
Collins finished up taking her out, the Australian champion boxer.
Oh.
Yeah, knocked her off me.
What about fast food, hamburger shop? Tell us.
Glad you brought that up too,
yeah.
Tom. We
Okay.
had the best Bob's hamburger shop in Richmond.
Yes.
Everybody used to meet up there, and I'll tell you, the show on TV when it came out in the 70s called Happy Days, which is replayed even now, and that reminded me because
Ron Howard.
Rod Howard, but they used to have the jukebox on the end of the table,
yeah.
and you put the jukebox to get the hamburgers, and because Phil and I used to get real time in it with Maxie and Noz, and then you go to the pictures and whatever.
Were you the Fonz?
Oh, the fun, sort of the fun, yeah, I was. Can't go Australia, buy a drink. No, it really reminds me of the good old days, the old Happy Days.
Was that your first girlfriend, the one with the same age as you?
Yeah, first official one,
Okay,
yeah, I was
the
about
first
12 then.
official one. Okay. What was your first job?
My first job was an apprentice carpenter.
Yeah.
Didn't last very long there. I was just scraped in, supposed to get Form 3 back in them days to get qualified for apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it, and I had a bit of trouble getting started, but I got to start for a fella in, my first job was in Paran, all the way from Richmond, on the bread and jam, to go to work. But I only went there for 6 months and grew that to fit because all I was doing was doing the building holes, digging holes and doing the labourer's job.
Yep.
So then that was my end of my apprenticeship.
Okay, well, now we mentioned earlier you talked about snooker, Barry.
Yeah.
Well, who were the best snooker players?
Well, PH, remember some of these fellas too. Brian, very boring fella, he's probably the best player in the snooker room.
Boring Brian.
Nobby Easton, he was probably up in the top 2 or 3. And Billy Wilco, oh, remember Billy Wilco, he was the smartest dresser in Melbourne, that fella.
So what do you mean good snooker
Well,
player?
I was pretty good too. I mean, PH was pretty good. Noz, Maxie, he was a good money player. Whitey was hopeless. Spook was pretty good. Billy Mew couldn't play. And Bluey Great, he was normally good. He was... but I think I was really the best out of our group. But
Out of your group.
I think just about, you know.
So you're better than Phil Harrison.
Oh, we used to have good days, Phil and I.
No, you said you were the best
I
in your
think I might have
group.
been just in front of PH, but...
Okay, so that's a message for Phil Harrison.
PH, yeah.
You were better than him at snooker.
Well, I think I was nearly the best of all our... Well, because...
Oh, of all of them, okay.
But Kevin Simons, who played for Richmond, he was Barry Burke. Barry Burke was a good snooker player too.
Yeah.
He's in the photo. But it was... they used to play the Kellys, and there was a lot of gambling going on there that time.
Yeah, it was all gambling.
People used to knock off their money on a Thursday night, and but it was a very good... and I actually got barred a couple of times from Lawson's snooker room. I was a bit temperamental. Sometimes I missed a shot, I'd bang the cue on the floor. You can't say, you're bar Penny! Alright, and then bar for a week and come back, and
Off you
I
go.
couldn't help myself because I used to hate losing.
You're a
But
bad
there was
loser.
good times back in them...
Well, who else were you knocking around with, Barry?
well, mainly Bluey and Whitey, but when I got to about 16, I think it was... I think Phil and I were sort of getting around here. I'm pretty sure that you lived in... I think PH, I'm pretty sure you lived in Richmond early.
We're going to have to get some confirmation on that.
Because I don't think you were coming all the way in the old Dratler to come down to Richmond, and but he got his Vauxhall first, I think. Well, I'm not sure. It wasn't much different. But
Yeah.
I got my Vauxhall, and he got a Vauxhall, and then he come down to Richmond, So then I left to go to Repanic when I was 19, see?
Okay, so you're terrorising in your teenage years with
So we
Hill.
used to-
You get into any trouble?
Oh, no, not really. We didn't bash anybody. We used to...
Tell us.
Some of the things Phil and I done, I tell you wouldn't be able to print them or even show them or think about showing because we were crazy. I mean, when I come back from Repanic in 66, but then we started getting back together and going to footy together. And then,
in your 20s sort of thing.
yeah, and we used to... Some of the things we used to do, I tell you, I was only talking to him last week and I said...
Well, you need to give us an
how we
example.
got away with it.
You need to give us an example.
Oh, well, it's all about mainly females.
Oh, okay.
And,
Get into trouble, what you got to
no, we never got in trouble. Phil and I, Richmond played Hawthorn down the Glenferrie Oval, and I was with Burlesy, myself and Phil. You remember this too. And these fellas having a bit of a go at us, and it was packed. The Glenferrie Oval back in them days.
Yeah.
Peter Hudson was playing. He kicked 12 goals that day.
Hard to get in.
And someone had a go at Phil. Next thing it was on, and the whole hill was packed. And all of a sudden it just spread away. But we fixed these fellas up. There's about 3 or 4 of them. And Burlesy had a bit of a dash. And but we never looked for trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Another time at in the snooker room down the old Matthew Flynn's, I still remember this too. Snowy Burf was there that night. We're playing these mugs on the pool, and they got jacked up because they were getting beaten, and we had to fix them up too. But Phil could handle himself. He used to look after me sometimes. Was there.
Well, that sounds all very interesting. I'm sure you.
Phil will remember this when he sees this. He'll say, "Wow, he's got a good memory of that bad boy."
That's very interesting. I'm sure we'll hear more stories about. We've covered a fair bit there, and our 12-point dossier on the teenage years.
But the females that and we used to have Phil and I used to have a contest who had the shiniest shoes. And Noz was in that too. We always had all got shiny shoes. I still have.
Shiny shoes.
Shiny shoes, polish your shoes.
Even your sneakers you polish.
No, but see, most of the shoes we bought back in the days from the Wogs, the team. That's all the teams are good for back in the days, making shoes. I used to get them camo.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And we had contests, because we always had the 3-piece suits and walk around. And we used to go in the city when I come back from Shepparton in 67, Phil would come down Mary Street. We get on the tram and just go in the pub and drink at all different pubs in the city.
Sounds like a very special time you
had.
had.
My 3-piece suit was a grey.
Yeah.
I think Phil had a grey suit too, I think, because we'd get in there and he'd come down and knock on the front door and Mum would go and say, "Oh, Phil's in," so off we go and just get on the bread and go and... Oh, no, we'd have been driving, I think, yeah.
Yeah, in your
Well,
rock
they were good days. I mean, Phil remember all them. We used to go into Australia, and it was a home pub then back in them days. We was going to bash this fella down there.
Okay.
Put it on Phil at one of these fellas, and...
Well, maybe we'll have more of that later, but...
they were good days, I tell you now. Phil remember them.
Sounds like some good memories. Well, that's it for us. For today, it's a bit of a long one, but...
well, it's something different. I mean, they were the good old days back in them late 50s and late 60s, and because I've been still pretty good friends with Phil the last 50 years, but when I went away up the country for 6 years, I didn't see him, but when I come back, I happened to see him. I come down in Bridge Road, I crawled in the Spread Eagle pub, and here's Phil, he's working the fire brigade. So we got caught up again then. It was 67. But there was a bit of a gap because I was up in the country playing football, making a name for myself.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's goodbye from me.
And I hope you got that what thing I sent you, the DVD of Tuesdays with Barry.
All right.
I hope you got that all right, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Oh, we'll just add this little piece to the video. I got 3 photos, Barry. Tell us
Yeah,
about them.
I just remembered 2 minutes ago that I got them photos out. I took an hour to find these photos last night, and I knew I'd want to film them nice. So here we are. So there's you and me back on 48 Mary Street, back in the 80s sometime.
Yeah. It must be the 80s because we've got the 1980 background. And what's this?
There's one with Noz. That was probably in the 80s too. Noz was blind. Blind's about that night, I think, and I was playing the guitar. I wasn't too sober either, and that's another one with Noz. That was the same night.
Just having a bit of a good time there.
I thought I'd get them out, bring back up a few old memories, and the fellow took that photo, the girl took that photo, must have been half blind. You only got Phil's half head in.
Oh, it's artistic.
Half a head?
It's an artistic picture.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
But anyway, I found it anyway.
All
So
right.
that brings back good old memories.